Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Concession Stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the supernatural horror film Obsession, which is written, directed, and edited by Curry Barker. This film I was obsessed with seeing. You see what I did there? I've been looking forward to this movie. Missed it opening weekend, and I've been kicking myself for an entire week trying to carve out an hour and a half of my time or 2 hours, depending on you want to count trailers and all that other good stuff, to get in the theater and watch this movie, because I it's just something about it. I wanted to see this movie. It just looked very, very good. If there was a definitive be careful what you wish for movie, this is it. This takes that saying and puts it in a visual format to whereas we all should just sit back and chill. If it's for you, let it be for you. Don't wish, pray, do seances and all this other jigamajo to get what you want. You know, just settle for what you need. This film stars Michael Johnston and Inde Navarrette. And in this film, we follow Bear, a music store employee who buys a supernatural toy that grants him his wish for his childhood friend Nikki to fall in love with him, which results in horrifying consequences. Curry Barker is in this new wave of YouTube content creators getting the opportunity to make feature-length films theatrically, and we've got some really good ones from some YouTube content creators. Talk to Me, the Iron Lung, and Backrooms is right around the corner from a YouTube content creator. But this film, it looked like it was just hella creepy. And that's my favorite type of horror film, is just creepy. You know, it doesn't have to be a monster or a stalker or ghosts and, you know, all that good stuff, supernatural elements like that, but just creepy. Something that'll just get under your skin type. And this movie definitely does that. This movie is super creepy. Now, it's not perfect. Is not a perfect film by no stretch, but I think it executes the job that it intended to do. First and foremost, the standout in this film are our two leads of this film, Michael Johnston and Inde Navarrette. I believe I'm saying her name right. I hope I am, because she's a star. I haven't seen her in anything else other than Obsession. I've seen Michael Johnston. I think he was in Teen Wolf, the MTV version. I think he was on that show. I could be mistaken, but I think I'm right. But I haven't seen Inde in anything. But after this, you can fully expect to see her in a lot of things. At least she should be. These two performances carried the movie. If they don't work, the movie doesn't work. You needed to have some sort of chemistry between these two actors and actresses. You needed to have that awkward chemistry, not chemistry to the point where you feel like, oh yeah, they need to be together. No, not for this film. In this film, you needed that type of chemistry, whereas it's the opposite. you needed to feel like, nah, they don't need to be together. Yet have that feeling where if they do end up together, oh, okay, I can see that. They're cute. You know, it's that type of chemistry, and they nailed it here, man. Bear, our lead character here, played by Michael Johnston, is spot on perfect in his role. I think watching his character from the beginning to the end, and him going through this relationship that, hey, like every relationship, you know, the honeymoon phase, it starts off perfect. Then it just spirals into this dark, disturbing, horrifying relationship that you want to get away from, trying to get away from, but you can't get away from. it is horrifying to see him go through this and try to get out of it in any way possible, but he can't. Uh, the character of Nikki and Indy's portrayal of this character is awesome. I hope that she gets all of the flowers that she deserves for this performance, because this was not an easy performance to pull off. Easily could have been, oh, just this obsessive, homicidal, crazy, whacked out woman, but it wasn't that. What we got in this film is a character that is still fighting inside. The real her is still inside of this obsessive being. It's like a different person took over. She was possessed. And she had to, at moments, had the real her come out and then flash back and flash forward again and show these different emotions in one take and do it seamlessly. That takes skill. And the skill that that she displayed portraying this character should not go unnoticed. This was an amazing performance. And I would say a satisfying ending to this film. It was only one way this film could go, and it went there. It didn't do your at least most recent horror films try to swerve you and all this here. It actually went the way it was supposed to go. And I deeply appreciated that. Now, where the movie falls short, eh, your supporting characters outside of our two leads, they were useless. The performances were kind of flat. It just didn't feel necessary for these characters. They didn't help the story at all, other than be there for certain moments that needed to push the story along. But other than that, I didn't see the need for them. They didn't really add to the story to me. Uh, there were some huge leaps in logic that that Curry Barker wanted you to take here in this movie. There were some things that Nikki did in front of other people. Now, when she was doing it in front of Bear, that's fine, because he knew the situation. He knew why this woman was doing what she was doing. But Nikki was doing that in front of everybody, just strangers sometimes. She was doing some off the wall stuff to the point where you need to either call the police, call the medic, call somebody to help this woman, because she is doing some crazy stuff. And everybody was like, oh, she's just acting crazy. No, she's not acting crazy. She just busted her head wide open. It's just certain things that she was doing that I'm wondering that added to my dislike for the supporting characters. Like, what was the point? What was the point of them being there? It should have been a bigger fuss made about some of the things she was doing. And there was a kind of subplot that was buried in here that was just glossed over, that involved Bear's best friend and Nikki prior to this wish being made. And I think that should have played a major part in the movie, and it didn't. They chose to focus on the obsession aspect of it all. Cool. But I wish they would have kind of added to that, and that would have kind of added more to the Bear character, to his disdain for the situation, and the need to get out of this situation. And even though there really was no way to get out of it, but find a way to get out of it sooner than he did, before things really went off the rails towards the end of the movie. Aside from that, I actually enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a really, really good movie. Well made. It was shot really well. I mean, the cinematography in this movie was great. And to say that it was done on the cheap, this movie is about as indie can get, but it doesn't feel that way, and it doesn't look that way. It looks really good. Some of the choices made, there were some scenes where They were showing Nikki in a silhouette, and all you can see were her eyes. You know, and it was just creepy. Just subtle things like that. She wasn't doing anything crazy. She wasn't hanging off the wall upside down or crawling on the ceiling or anything. She was just standing there talking at normal. But the way they lit the room and lit her and just have her eyes stand out in like a shadow was like, oh my God, that is creepy as hell. And it was a couple of scenes like that where she was just sitting in the corner or standing in the corner watching him sleep and stuff like that. Just creepy, man. It was creepy. I loved it. I loved every minute minute of it. And for that reason, I'm giving Obsession a letter grade of a B. Good horror film. Good horror film. In 2026, we've gotten some good horror movies this year. We've got a couple of gems here, and we're just in May, about to cross over into June. So we have a lot more to go, a lot more horror films to come, and we're already batting a pretty good average here in horror. I'm impressed. I am deeply impressed. And you don't have to do anything grandiose. It just simple horror. Old school, simple horror. That's the key. You don't have to do anything grand. Just small and simple, like Obsession. I would like to know, what did you think of Obsession? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was creepy? Did you think it was like, eh? I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Concession Stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Obsession. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.